following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors and I'm your host. And tonight, I got a very special guest, Atlantic Pro Wrestling's managing partner, Michael Morse.
Nice to be here.
Thanks for wanting to come on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Third time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about because I'll tell you, APW you guys have been doing a lot of great things.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. That was the goal,
Yep.
when Joe and I came on 2 years ago.
Yep.
That was the goal, but
Guys are doing great things. I really mean that. All right, so let's get right into it. Jake Olette, what was your favorite APW moment of 2019?
my favorite APW moment of 2019, I would have to say would have been that's a tough one because there's a lot of good ones.
Or you could throw a couple if you want.
Yeah, I would say two. I mean, one of them's probably not the best, but believe it or not, one of the biggest moments of 2019 was the formation of the Dynamite Death Squad.
Right.
With Danny Miles teaming with Joe Moakley,
Travis
Gillette, and Dan and Vern Vicala.
Right.
Didn't see that coming. Yeah. So that was a shocking moment, I guess you would say. The feel-good moment of the year, I think, would probably be at the last show with Big Gun.
Yeah.
Winning his last match, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which I know we'll talk about a little bit later. But that to me was one of the capstone moments of the year.
Right.
And then I think Vixen winning the title early on in the year. It was good for her being a long time.
Right.
Well,
I remember you had hit me up because I'm doing the concessions at your shows, and you said that I was going to see somebody that I never expected to see in the ring, and there he was, Knuckles.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
And actually, there were two people that we never thought we would see in APW that came in December, and that was Knuckles Nelson.
Yeah.
That was kind of a big surprise. That was myself, Joe, and Cody were the only three people that knew about it.
Right.
Gunn didn't know about it. And then obviously the debut of Chase Del Monte, which that was, for me, that was the one where, the fans would be like, holy, never,
Well, when the show started, I saw Chase, so I immediately thought it was him. But then I saw Knuckles and said they had to,
Yeah, I mean, Chase was there originally to see a lot of his students who were on the show. So, and we had some back and forth, and he and Johnny Vegas had some conversations. So that's where that all came about. And I mean, we'll get into it later, but they have a huge match.
We're going to go through the matches too. All right, Anthony Mark Balkas, who may be APW's biggest fan.
Yeah, a lot of passion in that. That
it's funny because I tease him when I bring his name up. He swears a lot. I tease him though.
He does swear a lot.
He's a good kid. He's a big fan though.
Yep.
Yeah. What is something you want to do in APW in 2020 that you didn't do in 2019?
I want to expand APW.
Yep.
And I think the first step is this show here in January. Right. And we have one other show later in the year that will also be in Beverly.
Yeah.
But that's the ultimate goal, is to expand and grow. I want to have a reason that APW needs to find a bigger venue.
Right.
Because we can't hold the fans in Newburyport, or we can't hold the fans in Beverly.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, you do have a lot of fans, seriously, you know what I mean, that go to every show. It's
absolutely.
Awesome. All right, Anthony has a follow-up question. What is your best experience in working for APW so far, and your worst experience?
The best experience is learning from some of New England's best.
Yeah.
I have the opportunity. I work side by side with Ring of Honor's Brian Malonis.
Yep.
So I get a lot of knowledge from him.
Right.
Stiff Mike.
Yep.
Sonny Goodspeed is now in the fold, helping us out at APW. Johnny Vegas. Obviously Demon Ortiz.
Yep.
So I think that's the best thing for me,
right.
That has been good for me as an experience. The negative is the stress, leading up to a show, making sure that everybody is booked and has committed and hasn't double booked themselves on other shows. trying to move things around so that it's visually appealing to the fans as well as makes sense to the performers. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Nice.
Excuse me.
I'll just say it. Vern Vicalis says, I'm sure Danny Miles and myself can come up with some questions. And you never did, Vern. All right. Walter Marzik, another big.
Yep, absolutely.
Me too, he says. What? You know Adam Luce?
No.
Adam's a real big New England independent fan, but he moved out to Wisconsin. He lives out there now. But he sent in a question. Have you looked into partnering with a streaming service like Independent Wrestling TV?
Well, it's funny that came up. We actually have. We have a contract in hand. We're reviewing it with Independent Wrestling TV to stream APW on that outlet.
That's great. All right, Dan Bolia, who I'm still trying to get to come to one of your shows. Would you ever consider running a show in New Hampshire? Maybe if you came to one in Massachusetts, Dan.
Well, I think the market in New Hampshire is there.
Yeah.
It's the biggest obstacle that you have is that there's a commission.
Right.
So you have to not only get a promoter's license, you have to get all your wrestlers licensed, and we have to take into consideration: is it financially feasible for us to pay for licensing for the company and for the wrestlers in the long term if we're only going to have one show or maybe two?
Right.
Because at that point you have to, if you have multiple shows, you have to book the same people on all the shows because you don't want to keep licensing 15, 20 people per show. So I think that's the major obstacle. Not that it's out of the realm of possibility.
Right.
It's just that's an obstacle that we have to figure out.
Nice. Just busting you, Dan. That was a great question. Uncle Eddie, Ed Hunt. Did you read this question earlier?
Yeah.
Hey, Golgo, would you ever consider reforming the oddities?
No.
Okay.
When Ed Hunt speaks, it goes here and right here.
There you go. All right.
Doesn't stay in there that long.
Right. All right. Ref Rich Lannon. Did you try Leo's meatballs? I know you did.
Yeah, of course I did.
Rich is like family to me.
Yep.
His first cousin is the mother of my older kids. I've known Rich for so long. Colleen James. When is Vanity getting a rematch for the belt? And also, she goes to all your shows too, doesn't she? She's a big fan of Vanity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now, Vixen is waiting in the wings.
Yep.
She's got her duties with Nightbreed, and she's also wrestling on a lot of cards. And we're going to talk about her match, which hasn't been announced yet. So I'm going to announce two matches on tonight's show. One is the Brian Malonis match and who his opponent is. Yep. And then the other will be Vanity Vixen and her opponent. So,
excellent.
But yeah, she will get her title shot.
Yep.
Just right now, she's got a lot of stuff going on, and then Angel and Widow have their thing going on right now.
That's going to be a good match too, especially the ladder match. That's crazy. Matthew McGee, also known as Freight Train. With all the different promotions in New England, how do you separate yourself from the others? Good question, Matthew.
That's the tough thing is finding that little niche, like what you can do that's going to make you better or separate yourself. I think for us, our focus is on being consistent, putting together a solid product. So every month when the 200 to 225 people come to our shows, they get a solid product and it makes them want to come back the next month. Nice. That's what we're focusing on right now.
Okay. And a question we had talked about off air. Adam Nessel. I noticed APW Revolution is running in the same place as every Elkamania event. What made you choose that venue? How can Elkamania and APW coexist in the same house without anyone burning out the building? Did anyone from Elkamania have a choice in the matter?
I am going to start with the latter part of that question. Yes. We spoke with both Ryan Andrews and Atlee Green before we even booked the building.
Right.
We asked them if they would be okay if we ran a couple of shows in the building. The main reason that we chose that building is the height of the ceilings. So it's going to allow us to do a lot of things that we can't do in Newburyport because of the ceiling height. First off, what you just mentioned is a ladder match that we're going to have on the January 25th card. And down the line, it could lead to cage matches or other matches that need height in the ceiling. So yes, we spoke with them. We made an agreement. They run there 3, maybe 4 times a year.
Right.
We are going to be running there twice.
Right. So you'll have 6
shows
at the most.
in 12 months. Right.
Right. So no one's burning out a building.
Yep.
In my opinion.
And I agree. I mean, they're far enough apart.
Right.
we have different, different products, different styles of presenting the product,
Yep.
and different talent. So I think that's going to keep it from getting watered down and stale.
Nice. Thanks for the question, Adam. All right, Dave Fournier. You know Dave?
I believe so.
Dave's a great guy. He was here last Monday. What made you get involved in professional wrestling?
Honestly,
I think you did answer this before,
Yep,
but
and I'll answer it again.
Yeah.
It was kind of a fluke. I had been talking with Brian Malonis, and
Yeah.
he thought that Jamie Janikowski might need some help with social media. Having a podcast previously in the MMA industry, I was able to build my followership up over 10, close to 15,000 followers. So I found out that Jamie had just recently, at that time, he had made an agreement with the Strong Style, Frankie and that group. So he introduced me to Joe Moakley, and that's originally what was going to happen. Is I was just going to take over the social media, help him promote the product, and that was going to be it. Right. And it just snowballed from there, where I got more involved, and here we are today.
That's awesome. You guys are doing a great job together. You really are. Follow-up question: what was the first match you ever witnessed?
The first match I ever witnessed would be probably the Iron Sheik versus Hulk Hogan. Played on every TV from MSG when Hogan beat him for the heavyweight title. That's the first match I saw.
Nice. Okay. Jared Doomling, who was Vanity Vixen wrestling at the January 25th show? Jared, he's going to answer that in a little bit. Having a triple threat ladder match for the APW Women's Champion would be amazing. Book it.
It would be amazing, absolutely. Just we have a plan, and that plan doesn't call for the triple threat right now.
And you had just a couple minutes ago mentioned how Vanity's got her, she's going to have to be ringside, like she always is in this tough tag team title match coming
Absolutely.
up. All right. Joe Moakley, ask him how it feels to be the butt of all the Dynamite Death Squad jokes. These guys, man.
I'm going to let that go. I mean, Joe was supposed to be here.
Right.
But apparently, if I was going to be here, he's not. So I would prefer to be here to represent the company over him. So.
All right. Well, I have to ask, what's up with that, though?
Well, I mean, Joe and I were going well. I mean, we were on the show twice. We've had a lot of positive things happen.
Right.
I think Joe had taken himself out of being a performer. And I think he was starting to resent me and the position that he had been put in by not competing.
Right.
So I think he felt that he needed to manipulate the system and get involved with Danny Miles and Vern and Travis and create this new group in order to screw me over, for lack of a better term.
Why don't we talk about those guys right now?
Sure.
It's a tough group.
Absolutely. I mean, Danny Miles has been, for that short period of time where he lost the title, where he thinks we stole it from him, and that's kind of what instigated this change in attitude for him. He represented our company proudly, and I was proud to have him as our champion. But everybody's attitude changes, I guess, so to speak, and his went in the wrong direction. Right. And I think that a lot of that has to do with Joe Moakley. Joe can get at your ear. I mean, we've known Joe. He's had groups like Venom and he had been in a group previously with Danny. So I think it was easy for him to kind of pull Danny in.
Right.
Travis, I think, is young and impressionable.
I was going to ask you about Travis.
Second generation wrestler.
Yeah.
Did great in the Gil Bonk, won the Gil Bonk.
Tough kid.
Yep. And then, immediately showed his true colors in joining the Dynamite Death Squad. I think the one that surprises me the most in the way that this all went down is Vern.
Right.
Because the APW fans love Vern.
Yeah.
He was a great representative of the company. He was a great New England champion prior to.
Right.
I mean, not to say he's not a good champion now. I mean, Vern Vicalo, he has the skills. I think it's the way he went about doing it. He had to, for lack of a better term, he had to cheat and be conniving in order to beat Luis Ortiz, Demon Ortiz, to become the New England champion.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a tough situation. I don't have a whole lot of control over those three individuals in the Newburyport building because of the way that Joe has things structured with them. But I have control when we're in Beverly, and that's where we're going to see some things on my part, hopefully to get it in their minds that I have more control than they think I do.
Nice. All right. I wanted to talk, before we start plugging the big show you got coming up and going through matches and stuff, I wanted to talk to you about the Gil Bonk Battle Royal. I was very impressed with the Battle Royal itself. I loved how there was some young kids getting their chances to, to cut their teeth in the ring.
Yep.
Like Sarah Teller. Was that how you said? Telia?
Sarah Teller.
Sarah Teller. I thought she did great.
Yeah, I mean, she impressed me. I actually reached out to, I talk with Julian. Julian then talks with Brian.
Right.
Over at New England Pro Wrestling Academy. And they said that she was ready for a battle royal at that point in her training. So, but I think she went above and beyond and impressed us and also impressed them, which allowed them to book her most recently, allow us to use her in a singles match versus Vixen, which versus Belmont, excuse me. She was impressive. I'm trying to think. CJ Cruz was impressive.
I like that kid.
Armani Chaos.
Yep. Who's going to be on the next show?
Yeah, he's on the next show. Excuse me. And a bunch of the students from both Kings of Wrestling, which used to be Wrestling Academy Revival, and New England Pro Wrestling, all got in the match and all did very well.
I thought so too. I thought it was a great battle royal. It really did. And and some of the top women work for you. I mean, Angel Sinclair has been killing it everywhere. Yep. Widow Belmont's a veteran. We know how good she is, and same with Vanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it was nice. Like I said, it was nice to see Sarah get a shot at that too. It was really, like I said, very impressed with that. And now Mecca, Ring of Honor star Mecca Brian Johnson's coming in.
Yeah,
again.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be his third time in the APW arena, and he reached out to me after he saw what went down with Danny Miles and AG and how they kind of he took the title in less than honorable ways, and that didn't sit well with Brian Johnson, who our fans really don't like.
Right.
But I think that he is a person of honor and feels like he would rather go face to face and call Danny Miles out and challenge him one-on-one. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, I think that match, among others, is going to be unbelievable on January 25th.
I think it's a great card. Before we get into the card, we'll talk one more thing, then we'll get into the card.
Yep.
At the last show, Big Gun Jim Sargent retired, like you had said that, and he beat Jake Sargent in his last match. And then you guys had turned around and put him into the first member into the APW Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this was a big night for us because, as I said in the ring, when I first came around, Big Gun was one of the guys that welcomed me in, and from the get-go, and it was tough for me to see him go. I mean, this wasn't the plan. Gun was going to be around for a lot longer than 2 years. I just passed my 2 years as part of APW on January 10th, so just a few days ago. And we felt that the little surprises, like the Knuckles Nelson coming in to be the special enforcer.
That was awesome.
As I was telling you, there really was only 3 of us that knew that Knuckles was coming in. Gunn didn't know. Gunn was in the ring when Knuckles' music hit and came out, so Gunn, seeing him come down the ramp or come down the stage, was the first time that Gunn knew he was going to be there.
Right.
And then Joe Moakley and I, for all his faults, we felt it was right for Big Gun to be the first inductee. Right. He has bled from Wrestling Star Wars to APW. Right. He has been an original since the beginning. So we felt that in his final match, it would not only be great to surprise him with his trainer and longtime friend, but also to induct him as the first member of the APW Hall of Fame. And, there are a lot of people out there. Why does APW have a Hall of Fame? The APW Hall of Fame isn't a place where people can go and visit. This is for the guys that put the blood, sweat, and tears. We want them to know that when they hang up their boots and walk away from professional wrestling as a competitor, they were respected and loved by the people that were in that locker room with them.
Right. And you're right, though. He did. He's been with APW pretty much from the start.
Absolutely.
I got to ask this because I'm a big Knuckles Nelson fan. Will we see him again?
I'm going to steal a phrase from Vince McMahon. Never say never.
Right.
But I think that Knuckles is happy with doing his yoga and that type of stuff. I think he's this was a one-off because of his relationship with Big Gun.
Right. Nice. All right. So the next show is January 25th at the Beverly Salem Elks Lodge, 35 Bow Street in Beverly, Mass. Ring of Honor star Brian Malonis, New England Hall of Famer Demon Ortiz on the card. Did you want to mention that now? Brian's opponent?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
When we were, I happened to be sitting at home and I got the footage from the Gilbunk.
Yep.
And number 30 was Apocalypse.
Right.
And you could kind of see the look in Brian Malonis' eye when Apocalypse hit the stage.
Yeah.
It was like he had seen a ghost because Apocalypse had been retired. He'd gone away and he was doing his own thing. So there was something that set a fire in Brian Malonis and the back and forth between them.
Yep.
Ultimately, they ended up both being eliminated from the match.
Right.
But it was known to me that these two had to go one-on-one.
Right.
Two big men for the last 15 plus years in New England. My understanding is they've had many wars, whether it was Stiff Mike or Apocalypse. We know they're one and the same, but Apocalypse goes to that darker place.
Yeah.
And
scares the crap out of me.
Yep. And we're not getting Brawler Malonis. This is the Kingpin Brian Malonis is coming back to APW.
Awesome.
And this is Kingpin Brian Malonis versus Apocalypse in a tables match.
Wow. And I love both guys as wrestlers, you know what I mean, to watch them. But Brian Malonis is one of my favorite wrestlers. Right. All right. So let's go through a few of the matches here. The Women's Championship ladder match is Angel Sinclair versus the champion, Widow Belmont.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I think we needed to do. And I think it's only fair to Angel to kind of elevate it because she beat Vixen fair and square.
She did.
1, 2, 3 became the champion. And then basically the belt was stolen from her.
Right.
On a cash and carry that Belmont and Ed Hunt didn't earn. Right. It was torn up by Demon Ortiz. Ed picked it out of the trash and taped it together. Unfortunately, that was our fault. The wording on it said the holder of this contract gets a title shot. And now it states that, for example, Travis now holds this year's contract. It says that Travis Gillette, the winner of the Gilbunk, receives a title shot at his, whenever he wants to on the cash and carry. So they had a rematch the following month.
Yep.
Ed Hunt got involved.
Yes. They brawled all over the building.
Absolutely. Angel had a little bit of a concussion. That's why she wasn't on the December show. We decided to bring her back and elevate it. And the second I sent the information off saying that it's going to be Widow Belmont versus you, Angel, but I want it to be in a ladder match. Nice. Both of them, within seconds, we received a response saying, hell yes, let's do it. Nice. So they're both looking forward to the war. Rumor has it that Angel might have a little secret, someone that's coming in to maybe help neutralize Mr. Hunt.
Nice.
So
that would be good. Smart on her part.
Absolutely.
First of all, and I'll tell you, I've watched her wrestle since she started, and she's really gotten great. You know what I mean? In the short amount of time that she's actually been wrestling, she's booked everywhere, and we all know how great Widow Belmont is. Yeah. Whether Ed Hunt's in the corner or not, she's still a phenomenal wrestler.
Absolutely.
All right, so then we have the tag team title match with the champions Nightbreed taking on Johnny Vegas and Chase Del Monte. Yeah,
I mean, in my opinion, Johnny Vegas, he reached out to us. I knew that he was going to challenge Nightbreed at the Full Force Elimination.
Right.
But I never expected his tag team partner to be Chase Del Monte.
Right.
Chase is one of the most decorated wrestlers in the Northeast.
No doubt.
Over the last 10 plus years. Yep. Doesn't work very many places.
Yeah.
And that's by his choice.
Right.
But when Johnny Vegas said, I'm going to bring in a partner that's going to give us that match versus Nightbreed,
right.
if you approve it. And when I saw who it was, I was just as shocked as everybody else. I mean, I'm glad to have him.
Yep.
I think he's going to add to the show. And
Absolutely.
I think there's enough history there with Nightbreed.
Yep.
Specifically Setherin and Johnny Vegas. They've known each other a long time.
Very
Setherin
long time.
and Chase Del Monte, and I know Gallo has a history with both of those as well. So I think it's going to be an incredible match.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to kind of digress here.
Okay.
A year ago at the Gilbonk 2018 was when Nightbreed debuted, or right around then. And Setherin kept telling me, we're going to be over. The crowd's going to go crazy. This is Nightbreed. You know, we haven't been around for a long time. And I was the type, and he just said this on a podcast. And I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been nothing but honest with you from the beginning, but I need to see it in order to believe it. So when they went through that curtain the first time and they got the response that they got, they went over in their match, they got the response that they got. I think I shocked both Setherin and Gallo when they came backstage, because I said to them, you are going to be the APW champions. And I think Setherin thought I was nuts, because it was one time. And that I had seen them, and you know, he felt like it was a rush. But for me, it was probably the best thing that we've done for the tag team division, because they are, in my book, one of the probably more over tag teams in the Northeast right now.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, Vanity and Setherin were over big time already on their own. Nice. All right, so then you have the APW heavyweight title match with Dynamite Danny Miles taking on ROH star Mecca Brian Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, that match to me, I mean, Danny Miles is a great in-ring performer. He's a student of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Obviously, Ring of Honor has felt, you know, highly, or thinks highly of Brian Johnson, because last time he was here, he was a Future of Honor star. Now he's a Ring of Honor roster guy. Travels the road. I know that he and Brian Malonis talk a lot, and Brian told me that, you know, that Mecca is absolutely 100% looking forward to getting in the ring with Danny Miles and competing for the heavyweight title.
Nice. All right, and you had said earlier that the fans really went into him. He was more of a heel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, like I said, I think that plays into his being having integrity. He doesn't like the way that Danny Miles won the APW heavyweight champion from Anthony Green.
And neither does any of the fans.
Yeah, he doesn't like the way that the Dynamite Death Squad has gone about doing their business. And he wants to come in and prove that there is a right way to do it. Whether or not he wins over the APW fans, that's gonna have to, you know, we're gonna have to see that. But he may not. But he's hoping to.
Nice. And the number one contenders match, we get the Masshole Mike McCarthy versus Ilya Markopoulos. I said it right for the very first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, Mike McCarthy has been a workhorse for us. He will get in the ring and wrestle anybody that we ask him to.
He's really good too.
He always puts on a solid match. He's probably his hardest critic if he doesn't think it went as well as he wanted it to, and that's what we appreciate. And honestly, Ilya, since debuting with us back in the fall, actually over the summer, the fall, has impressed us enough that we are happy to have him around. We look forward to a long relationship with Ilya. And I think that they both deserve this spot with APW. So I think that's going to be that. If I were looking at the card, one match by match, that match probably could steal the entire night.
Nice. And then you have a Crazy 8 gauntlet match. With Vern Vicalo, Robo, the Punjabi Lion, CJ Cruz, Cicero, who I love Cicero too. Dan Terry, who is the New England champ, right?
Vern's the New England
Vern's the New England champ.
Vern's defending his title. Yep.
All right, and then Owen Brody, where's he come from?
Owen Brody is he owns his own promotion actually, Impulse Pro Wrestling in Vermont. They run a few shows.
Because I've heard the name.
Yeah, but he's also wrestled for us in the past, previously. He's a good in-ring talent, solid, mechanically solid as a when it comes to tactical wrestling. And we felt that this was the perfect time to bring him back in because we felt that he would be a challenge for Vern. Because obviously my ultimate goal is to have Vern leave there without the title.
Right.
So Vern can make all the comments he wants about this guy, my old tag team partner. I don't know about you, but Dan Terry to me is one of the toughest guys in the Northeast.
American Hammer.
And he can put on he can put a hurting on people. And he can wrestle. CJ Cruz. I mean, what can you say about him? I mean, he's incredible. In the short period of time, I think he's made a very strong name for himself. And then we have Robo. I mean, you know, he can make the comments all he wants. I think that the 7 opponents, including Joe Moakley, versus Vern, I think it's going to be an entertaining match. And Vern and Joe know that if Joe gets disqualified, for Vern to keep the title, that Vern's going to be stripped of his title. So they have to either, you know, and they can, I'm sure they have something up their sleeve. But I might have something up my sleeve.
Nice. And the last guy, we had mentioned him earlier, Armani Chaos, who did a great job in the Gilbon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think him as an entire package. His presentation, his being young in the business and being able to go out there and hold his own with the guys that were in the Gilbonk impressed us enough to bring him in to go after Vern.
Nice. And you had said you wanted to announce another match, Vanity Vixen versus...
we're actually going to be seeing the debut of Kennedy Copeland.
Oh, nice.
In APW. She reached out to us. She's going to be in the area. We needed, you know, we weren't going to not have a match for Vixen in her, basically her hometown. She lives in Peabody, bordering town. We weren't going to, you know, same thing with Nightbreed. Well, how could we have you know, considering their hometown, not have these individuals on the card? So I reached out to Kennedy. When she said she was going to be passing through, wanted to pop in. I said, well, seeing that you're going to be here, how about we do this? And she was all for it. So
that's awesome. She's very talented.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen her live. I've seen footage of her on YouTube and other, you know, and streaming services. So I'm very impressed with her. I think her and Vixen are gonna have a heck of a match.
Well, I want to bring up 2 guys that are in this gauntlet match that I'm big fans of. CJ Cruz, like you said, young kid, can do it all in the ring, really. And I mean, he hasn't really been wrestling that long. And Cicero, well, I'm impressed with the kid. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, Cicero, you know, came to us back in October of 2018 after the Gilbonk. Actually, I think it might have been after Full Force. He came to us and said that, you know, he had some personal stuff that he needed to take care of, and we respect that. So he went away. He did what he needed to do. I reached out to him because we're all about my biggest thing is with the Gilbonk is yes, it's 30 guys. But I would like to have some of those guys be surprises. For example, Sonny Goodspeed was a surprise.
Was awesome. I didn't even know I was in the back. I wasn't at the window. And all of a sudden I heard someone say it and I had to watch it. It was great.
So Sonny Goodspeed was a surprise. Apocalypse. The return of Apocalypse. And then obviously Cicero. You know, I reached out to him. I was expecting him to say no because I really had I touched base with him every once in a while. But we told him that he always had a home in APW because of the way that he respects the business. He respects us. He's very respectful when he talks to us. So when he said yes, you know, I pulled him aside afterwards and I spoke to him. I said, look, we all have a lot of stuff going on in our real life, in our personal lives, but we also all need that creative outlet, you know, to kind of break up the monotony of every day. So if you can give us your time 1 weekend a month, we'll have you. And he did. He went off. He thought about it. He talked it over with his family. And we're lucky enough to say that he's going to be working for us. So,
he's a nice kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's very humble. You know, the first thing he said to me was, I need to go to the school. I need to go. Can you work something out with Stiff Mike? And I said, absolutely. So I reached out to Mike and he went over there. He rolled around for, you know, 2 days leading up to it, and Jake Sargent or Jake Olette is one of the students over there, and he said that Cicero, a little bit of rust at the beginning, but came back pretty quick. So it was kind of a no-brainer to have him in this match. He's a fan favorite, and I think he could pull out the upset and eliminate and get through all 7 or however many are left, depending on where he falls in the entrance of the gauntlet match.
Nice, and I love the character. I really do.
Yeah, I mean,
no one's doing anything like it. I've never seen anyone do anything like it. To be honest.
The kids absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go and talk about CJ here.
Okay.
CJ Cruz impresses me. Is we have a lot. Obviously, people can talk what they want. I'm going to kind of give you what was happening backstage.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who, but there were some veterans sitting by the monitor being like, it's a battle royal. Give the fans excitement. They don't want to see 8 guys standing around.
Right.
Somebody go in there and start punching people in the face.
Yeah.
So I think CJ heard that veteran say that. And the second he hit the ring, I think he punched or kicked everybody in the ring. So that to me, and I also heard some of the veterans say that CJ is the type of guy that once he puts it all together, he's going to go far in this business. I agree.
I agree too. He really is great. I'd like to bring up one guy that I know has wrestled for you guys, and he was your champ for a little bit, Anthony Green.
Yeah, I mean, I love Anthony Green. I think that, since he went from the all good to the retrosexual to now retro Anthony Green, he's got his deal with Evolve. He's the Limitless heavyweight champion. He's, I think for us, because of his what's the word I'm looking for here? Because of his persona and how hot he is right now.
Red hot.
Right. It's tough for us to try and lock him down. I think it's for us for him, we would have to have him for 7 shows in a row or 5 shows in a row so that we could do something solid with him with someone else. But I am forever grateful for him coming in and winning that fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
I mean, over some great Mike McCarthy, Vern Vicalo, Demon Ortiz. It was, that's the one thing I can say is when we put these matches together, no matter who's in them, they go out there and they give 100% for myself and Joe and the fans.
Right.
And I'm obviously, it sucks the way that he lost the title.
Right.
But he's doing his thing now, and we wish him the best of luck. And it's not to say that he won't be back.
Right.
Just right now.
It's hard to book him because, like you said, he's booked everywhere.
Well, not only that, we have a lot of stuff going on with the people we have on our roster right now.
Absolutely.
I think it would just have to be the right time, that right moment.
I told him I thought he was the wrestler of the year in New England for 2019.
It would be hard to disagree with that.
All the tournament wins, the titles he won, and I always joke when I say it's an almost marrying 2 women. Probably worked out better for him than he didn't. How about Ava? Has she wrestled for you?
She hasn't.
Okay. She hasn't. Okay.
She is definitely somebody that's on our radar. Yep. Again, we had her booked earlier in the year. Something came up. We had to do some creative maneuvering.
Right.
But we definitely are interested in bringing her in, whether it's her and AG or her by herself, but we definitely have our eye on her, as well as a number of other females in the New England area. So
I got to ask you this because I'm a big fan of this young kid too, and he has great matches with CJ Cruz. Alec Price.
I saw Alec Price. He came and worked a few of our like festivals, when he was first starting out. He was part of a tag team called Bro with Channing Thomas.
I was going to bring him up too.
And Channing Thomas and I forget his tag team partner's name, but they came in very impressive. I mean, I think he's doing great things. He's definitely somebody we have our eye on and would be interested in bringing in down the road. But I haven't seen a lot of him lately other than clips online.
Right. And you just said Channing Thomas. His style is so much different. It's more of a European style.
Yeah. Channing, has wrestled for us around our locker room. They call him Timmy Thunder.
Yes, yeah. We actually teased him here one time on the show, me, Dan, and Vern.
Yeah. So definitely. We tried bringing him in for the gauntlet match, but he had other obligations.
Right.
So he is certainly on our radar and somebody that you will see in APW down the road.
Nice. There's another young kid out there right now, and his name is, I will say your name for the first time, Ryan. Brett Ryan Goslin. Or, as I call him, Donovan Piper. I'll tell you off here why.
Honestly, the name... No.
It's a young kid, just somebody to look out for. And that's the thing. I just want to bring up names. You know what I mean? The young kids that are really starting to make a name for themselves. Let's go back to Travis Gillette for a minute. That kid, like you said, second generation wrestler. His dad was phenomenal, Jay Gillette. And Travis, and a lot of the knock on Jay to a lot from fans, he was a little on the smaller side. Travis is not.
No, he is not.
And he's phenomenal. I think he's one of the best upcoming wrestlers in New England.
No, I he's been a constant with us since I joined. There was a period of time where, obviously sometimes when people go away and then they come back, it makes the heart grow fonder. But I think in Travis's case, it was one of those where maybe he didn't feel like he was getting the respect from me that he deserved.
Right.
Which caused him kind of go down this road. But you can't take anything away from it. I think he had been using for us like a flying elbow, kind of like a savage elbow, Randy Savage elbow. And it was probably one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. Nice. In our building anyway. And, I think the sky's the limit for this kid. I just think right now he's tangled up in a, as I said, young.
Right.
With some people in his ear.
How about I know he was in the Battle Royal, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not wrong. Charlie Cashew.
Cashew, he wasn't in the Battle Royal.
Last show, right?
He was on our last show. Him and Archer.
I like that. I like them both.
They had a tag team match against Darley Decimont and Alejandro / Damian Hood.
Yep.
They impressed the crowd. They impressed us backstage. They're actually on the card. In January, we just haven't announced their match yet. So that tag team will be in a match as well. But yeah, I think, I first saw Charlie in action at the Alkmania show in November. He had a one-on-one match and he impressed me. So I reached out to him and Archer and we got them in. So.
Nice. Another kid that's been working for Chaotic quite a bit is Tyler Cintron.
Tyler actually was on our last show.
Yeah. I like him a lot too.
Yeah, we had a cancellation. Someone couldn't make it in. So I knew he was coming up with Chase and the other guys to watch the show.
Right.
So I gave him the spot. Nice. I said, I think that there is a lot of young talent out there that can help elevate Atlantic Pro Wrestling as well as New England wrestling as a whole, whether it's us, Chaotic, Limitless, Let's Wrestle, Lucky Pro, you name it.
Right.
I think that these young kids, if they get in and they keep their head clear, are going to be successful at this business.
Right. The first show that I did the concessions for you guys, they had a seminar or something going on. Mm-hmm. Coach Mike Hollow, one of the greatest trainers in New England history. What about Mike?
Mike Hollow, I've talked to him a few times. Yep. What can I say? He's probably one of the most respected guys in the Northeast when it comes to training and knowledge of the business.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I happened to watch WrestleMania 14 because I wanted to show my daughter. My daughter is the photographer for APW.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And she didn't know that Luis Ortiz had a role as a referee.
Right.
And was suplexed by Shamrock. I didn't know.
I forgot about that.
I didn't know that Mike Hollow was one of the guys in the suits who also got suplexed by Shamrock. So, obviously WrestleMania 14 is what are we, WrestleMania 34 this year?
Yeah, something like 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
I bumped maybe 3 or 4 times, got a concussion and said that was enough for me.
Yeah, I ain't bumping at all.
I'm also almost 50 years old. So.
Right. I'm older than that.
So I think, if the young guys of today have the opportunity to get to a seminar with anybody who has knowledge in this area, specifically Mike Hollow, go to the stupid seminar, man.
Absolutely.
Pay the $25 or $30 and spend 4 hours and let them help mold you.
Right. And you had mentioned Darley.
Yep.
And that kid's got a great look.
Yeah, I mean,
look.
I think a lot of people liken him to like a Kofi Kingston, but to me, he's bigger than that.
Right.
Size wise.
Yeah, he definitely is bigger.
He's got more power, but I think, I don't know Darley all that well, but people, respected veterans, have told me that, and this isn't, I don't want to sound negative about him, but it's like he doesn't give it 100% of the time.
Right.
And I think that might be his biggest downfall. I think that looking at him and what I've seen of him, if he puts 100% of it in, he's going to get 100% of it out, and he's going to be that much better for it.
Nice. And he does have a great look. How about, let's see. How about we tell me how you feel about Big Gun not going to be around anymore?
Well, for me, it's going to be tough because, as I said earlier, he was one of the people that was a leader in the locker room. Everybody respected him. He was quiet.
Right.
He was a quiet leader. People went to him when they had serious questions or, had questions about, should we do this way or should it be done this way? So for me, I think the young guys in the business are going to be losing out with Big Gun not being around.
Right.
On a regular basis. I mean, he's told us independently that he will be around from time to time. Obviously, not so much out in front of the crowd.
Right.
But I think, after 20 years or 19 years of doing it, plus being a former military personnel, and everything that goes into his regular employment, I think that it was time. The body breaks down. I mean, I just ran a 5K race yesterday. And
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're working hard.
Yeah, my knees feel like they're going to explode.
I'm sure they.
Not as bad as when I ran the half marathon in November, but they feel like they're going to explode. So,
seeing we brought up Big Gun, how disappointed were you in Jake? The way he was acting that night at your last show. As a fan, I was disappointed because I loved them as a tag team.
Yeah.
As American Made.
Yeah. Well, I think this is one of those instances where you rise to the top quickly.
Yep.
And you're not able to absorb the full magnitude of the situation.
Right.
I think becoming the APW Tag Team Champions as quick in Jake's career as he did. Less than 2 years, he was a tag team champ. I think it went to his head.
Right.
And he was of the mindset that we need to hold on to these titles by any means necessary.
Right.
When you have a partner who is honorable and lives his life by a certain code like Ben does, it's tough to stray from that and be standing side by side with him. So it was very disappointing. I mean, I think it was it was just a tough situation. But for me, the payoff was seeing him get driven through that door.
Right.
But, it may be the end of Jake Sargent. I mean, I don't know what's to come.
Right.
But, I mean, you get what you reap what you sow.
Right.
So.
And the referee for that match was Cody Hunter Ward.
Hunter Ward, Commissioner Ward, yes.
And how nervous were you when he was attacked?
When he was attacked, well, I mean, it was one of those situations where, one, he's a referee.
Yeah.
So, and two, he's the commissioner of APW. You never want a wrestler to put their hands on a referee.
Right.
And you never want the referee to put their hands on a wrestler.
Yeah.
Which Cody did.
Right.
Or Hunter did at the end of the match when he gave Jake the stunner. And there's some details that will come out on some stuff that we've been going back and forth on. But I mean, I think that's why we had Knuckles there, because we felt that Jake would do something to get him to Cody,
Right.
because it was a street fight or a dishonorable discharge match. There was no disqualification, so Cody had to make the call, or all of us make the call for the special enforcer.
Right.
So,
do you think Hunter Wood will end up coming back?
I don't know. I know that the shoulder injury that he had that made him retire was a very sore point personally outside of the ring.
Right.
So I think he has to get some stuff sorted out there before he can make that decision. Would I love to see Hunter Ward back in an APW ring? Absolutely. Do I think that, for his, he's recently married, he's got a wife now, he's got family that all helped him out when he got injured. So does he want to hurt those people by getting back in the ring? That's only for Cody to say.
Okay. You had talked about how you have some good veterans in the locker room. And this guy wasn't brought up. He's not really. He's an announcer. And I'm not talking Sonny. It's nice to see Jason Stewart and Sonny Goodspeed. You guys had a great tandem for your commentary.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jason Stewart, Mark Green, was the former APW commissioner before Cody.
Right.
And, we talked, and we want Jason to be around or Mark Green to be around.
Yep.
So we asked him if he would like to move into the commentary role. And
which he's very good at.
Yes, absolutely. He looked at us and said, "Are you bleeping me? I absolutely want to do that because that's my passion.
Yeah.
My passion is telling the story that's going on in the ring."
Right.
So I think with Sonny's knowledge and Jason's knowledge, the two of them together, give us a solid announce team. And
the chemistry is really good.
Yeah, and I got to sit in because Sonny wasn't at the December show, so I got to sit in on commentary with Jason.
Yep.
And I was able to hear him and how he does it.
Yeah.
Because obviously I hear it after the fact when I'm watching the matches after everything's edited. But to be on the fly with it was just incredible. And I look forward to them as a team moving forward.
And your video team is Caleb.
Yep, Caleb Salzer.
And I've known Caleb for a while, and he does a great job.
Yeah, Caleb, and we also have Derek Mitchell. Who
he's great too.
Does that for he does the same thing for a living. So it was a first because we were having, Caleb was doing the video part.
Right.
Derek was doing the audio part. Derek was able to talk into our ears while we were at the announce table.
Yeah.
It was a new experience for me. And I think that this partnership is great because we're going to be able to, as long as this partnership stays intact, which I see it doing, is not only are we going to be able to do the independent wrestling TV with some quality edited footage for our fans and for fans across the United States who are looking for good quality wrestling entertainment, but it's going to allow us every month to select one match from the show and put it on Facebook live as it happens.
Oh no! Yeah, we've
done it the last two shows.
Okay.
We did in November. We did Nightbreed versus. Actually, was it? Yeah, Nightbreed versus Killanova in November, and then we did Robo versus Tyler Cintron in December.
Right.
And the plan is to do it again in January with one of the matches. Don't know which one yet. We got to kind of look at the run, how it stacks up. But I mean, and the edited footage that I've gotten back has been incredible.
Right.
And this new system that he has, it's pretty cool because it allows him to edit as he's filming.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's really good. I have to ask, didn't Derek Mitchell step away for a while? But how long has he been back?
He's been back probably going on 6 to 8 months.
Oh wow.
More as a referee. In the last few shows, he's gotten more involved in the audio because he wants the product that we're putting out there to be elevated, and doesn't want it to be subpar.
Yep.
Because if we're going to grow and we're going to make APW a place where people want to come to our shows or even tune in because they pay $4.95 a month to be have a subscription to Independent Wrestling TV, that the quality needs to be there. And I thank him for that, and I appreciate that. And I can't wait to see what comes next. So, yeah, he stepped away. He's a new dad. So, I think you know, I've heard horror stories about Derek and his past, and it is what it is. But I mean, I haven't had any issues with him. So.
Oh, I think he's a great guy. I really do. Your ring announcer, Adam.
Adam. Well, you know, Adam's Adam.
No, but I think he's a good ring announcer. I mean, and the thing is, Rich Palladino is probably the best around. You know what I mean? He's been doing it for a very long time. But Adam is very good.
No, Adam is very good, and we are gonna have. He's not gonna be at a couple shows because they line up with other companies. But but it's gonna be great. Adam's great. I mean, I love Adam. All right, well let's plug the show again. Absolutely.
You want to do it? Or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you know, January 25th.
Yep.
APW Revolution. Saturday night, as always, every APW show. The Beverly Salem Elks on Bow Street in Beverly, headlined by our APW's first female or Atlantic Pro Wrestling women's champion ladder match between Widow Belmont and Angel Sinclair.
Yep.
And as announced tonight, we have the tables match with Apocalypse and the Kingpin Brian Malonis. I pity the people in the bar downstairs in Beverly because we're on the second floor.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, from top to bottom, definitely go check us out at Atlantic Pro Wrestling on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We have all 3 social media outlets. Follow us there for all the updates. And definitely get your tickets. I mean, there's still plenty of general admission left, a few front row seats. But I mean, I am excited to get back. You know, you get burnt out, you know, going full bore for 8-10 straight months or whatever it was. But I'm excited to get back and kick off this new chapter in a new building in Beverly.
And I mean, before you joined APW, they had literally had so many great guys that are now like Tommaso Ciampa wrestled for them.
Yep,
you know?
Tommaso, Dijak.
Yeah. I remember Woody telling me a nice story. He was the bartender.
Yep. Then you got Brian Malonis. So, I mean, it's crazy that Warbeard.
Yeah.
Or Ivar.
Yeah, Ivar.
As he goes by now.
Or as all the guys from like Chaotic call him, he'll always be Handsome Johnny to them.
Right. So, I mean, we're very blessed to have had this lineage there, and hopefully we get some of the people that are working for us now will be there eventually.
Oh, I definitely think so. And it's a couple of them from the Dynamite Death Squad.
Quite possible.
I mean, Vern's a very hardworking guy. I'm just very disappointed in his actions lately.
Well,
Vern. Michael, thanks for coming on again.
You.
I really appreciate it. I also want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do the concessions.
Absolutely.
You know?
People love your food.
Thanks. Guys, we're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.